Far away in a forgotten corner of Africa lay the village of Eruwa, nestled under the shadow of Agbaja Hill. The hill was no ordinary place. It loomed like a silent guardian, its slopes covered in dense forest that swayed and whispered in the wind. No one dared climb it. The elders warned of spirits, ancient and powerful, who punished those who trespassed on their sacred ground. Generations had lived and died by that warning, and the village prospered until she came. Amara arrived one evening, just as the sun dipped behind the hill, bathing the village in a crimson glow. She was unlike anyone the villagers had seen, tall, with smooth skin the color of rich earth, and eyes that glimmered with a strange light. She carried herself with confidence, speaking little but observing everything with an intensity that made people uncomfortable. She claimed to be a trader, seeking rare herbs that only grew near Agbaja Hill. The villagers whispered about her in hushed tones. Her hut stood at the edge of the village where the forest began, and many said they heard her singing at night, a low, haunting melody that carried on the wind. Some said she was a witch, others claimed she had come to curse them. The whispers turned to alarm when Amara announced her intention to climb Agbaja Hill. The village chief, Oba, an elderly man whose voice still carried authority, pleaded with her to reconsider. "The hill is not ours to claim," he warned. "It belongs to the spirits, and they do not forgive trespassers." Amara only smiled, her lips curving in a way that seemed almost mocking. "Perhaps the spirits and I have much to discuss," she said simply. At dawn, she began her climb. The entire village gathered at the base of the hill, watching as her vibrant red dress disappeared into the thick greenery. They waited all day, but she did not return. By nightfall, they assumed the spirits had claimed her. But that night, something changed. The river that had always flowed steadily through the village suddenly dried up, leaving cracked earth where water had been. The crops withered in their fields, as though a curse had fallen over the land. Worse still, the children fell sick, their cries piercing the night like a grim chorus. Desperate, the villagers sought answers from Oba and the elders. They consulted old scrolls and ancient tales, finally agreeing that the spirits were angry. "We must appease them," Oba declared. A grand offering was prepared, a white ram, baskets of yams, and gourds of palm wine. They carried the offering halfway up the hill, leaving it at the spot the ancestors had marked for prayers. As they began to chant, a figure emerged from the forest. It was Amara, but she was not the same. Her eyes glowed like embers, her skin shimmered faintly, and the air around her seemed charged with an invisible energy. She walked barefoot, her movements unnaturally fluid. The villagers fell silent as she approached, her gaze piercing each of them like a dagger. "You have broken the balance," she said, her voice echoing as though it came from the hill itself. "You take from the earth without gratitude, from the rivers without respect. The spirits demand restitution." The villagers fell to their knees, begging for forgiveness. Amara raised a hand and they fell silent. "The spirits will restore your land," she said, "but only under one condition. Each year, on the eve of the harvest, one among you must climb the hill and offer themselves. This is the price of your greed." The villagers were horrified, but they had no choice. They agreed, and as Amara disappeared into the forest, the river began to flow again, and the crops regained their life. The first sacrifice came a week later. Neka, a young woman barely out of her teens, volunteered to save her family. She climbed the hill, her steps steady though her hands trembled. She was never seen again. Years passed and the ritual continued. The village survived, but a heavy shadow hung over it. Every year the chosen one would climb the hill, and every year they would vanish. Then one day, a curious boy named Chidi stumbled upon an old journal buried beneath his grandmother's hut. It was Amara's. The pages revealed a chilling truth. Amara had not been sent by the spirits. She had sought the hill's power for herself, striking a bargain that condemned the village to endless sacrifice. Chidi's heart pounded as he read the final entry. "I will ascend the hill and merge with its power. The spirits will take me as their voice, and the village will be my offering. The cycle will never end." Clutching the journal, Chidi stood at a crossroads. He could reveal the truth, but would the spirits unleash their wrath if the sacrifices stopped? Or should he remain silent, letting the cycle continue, but sparing the village further suffering? The boy looked toward Agbaja Hill, its peak hidden in the mist, and wondered what power truly lies there waiting to be disturbed. Some say Chidi climbed the hill that night, determined to confront the spirits. Others claim he burned the journal and never spoke of it again. But the curse of Agbaja Hill remains, and the villagers still whisper of Amara's eyes, glowing like fire in the forest shadows.